All right, and in other news, a recent tweet by activists known as Team Pachedu claims that Zimbabwe Electoral Commission (ZEC) has illegally moved 117,000 voters from the original constituencies and wards in the voters' roll to be used for the March 26 by-elections. The activists say this could affect the credibility of the polls. Now, Team Pachedu has been analyzing the voters' roll for the by-elections in comparison with the one used in the 2018 polls and has expressed concern over certain anomalies, adding that the ZEC was illegally changing electoral boundaries without notifying voters as stipulated by the law.
Well, joining us this morning as well, all the way from Harare to help us see more light on this issue is Solomon Bobosibunu, Programs Manager, Election Resource Center. Thank you so much for being here, Solomon, this morning. But before we take you on with questions that will help us dissect the situation, let's take a look at these tweets. They seem to be very high in accusations. And how possible is how true is this as well? Well, the first tweet you can see right there on the screen says ZEC lied in its statements that there was no mass movement of voters across wards. Now, this list shows that many Bubi constituency Ward 22 residents have now been moved to totally different wards, yet their addresses have not changed. What is your comment? Another one says, in Redcliffe, ZEC Zim has moved some Millennium Park residents from the original Ward 8 to Ward 9. And then it goes ahead to say ZEC is illegally changing electoral boundaries. Hashtag ZEC must explain. Well, haven't seen these tweets. Let's go to you, Solomon, right now. And let me find out from you first off, Solomon. Could you tell us more on the issue and how many constituencies are we actually talking about here that has been affected? And are the voters aware of these changes, if there's any?
Thank you very much for that question. It's a pleasure to be on this program. What I could potentially say for now is that as the Election Resource Center, we have at numerous intervals requested the voters' roll that are going to be used for the by-elections. We have not found joy. Only to get a copy on the 31st of January. That was the copy that we got. And the team is busy also trying to analyze the patterns in terms of where these voters are and how they have actually been affected. We have also seen these accusations also coming from other voters, either the political parties, and other civic society organizations or actors like Team Pachedu. We are concerned because the delimitation has not yet started. And in this regard, there is no reason for the Commission to move people from their original wards without their consent. Because voter registration is a voluntary process where I'm sending my details to the Electoral Commission. And in that regard, if there are any changes that they ought to do on the details of the voters, they need to consult first. They need to inform the voters that there are these changes. These changes must not be seen by people who are doing analysis of the voters' roll, but the Commission must communicate with the citizens, with the registered voters. I would probably take you to what are the principles that would help us to start to speak about these concerns that citizens are actually raising. It is the voters' roll must be current, must be complete, must be comprehensive, and must capture the details as they are at the point of registration. Hence, change my details without my consent, you're actually violating the principles that's not yet in motion. We don't anticipate this. And we'll actually be producing our own findings of the reports from the voters' roll, the national voters' roll, not only for the 28 National Assembly by-elections that are coming, but for the national voters' roll itself, to see the magnitude of these changes and these movements that are actually being alluded by to other partners who've already conducted the voters' roll analysis. So we'll actually be conducting in the next few days. You'll actually be seeing the results, probably confirming these allegations. And we have also received some information from the call center here at the ERC, where citizens are alleging that names are no longer in the voters' roll, or they have been moved from an original address where they've actually registered into another ward without their consent. So these are the things that we are also attending to as the election goes.
Right. Now, Solomon, you have just confirmed to us that the voters are not aware of these changes and their permission were not asked for before these changes were made. But what are organizations like your organization, Election Resource Center, doing to make sure these anomalies are dealt with, especially before voting day? We understand the by-election is coming next month, the 26th of March.
Thank you very much. I think ERC, we have different approaches to this. We are also seeking those that have been affected to help us to litigate. We can support them to litigate because we have a citizen justice desk at the Election Resource Center that can assist them to litigate because there is no consent. They did not sign off to change their details. And this is part of the electoral litigation support that we have for citizens. And it's one of the things that we are going to be mounting going forward. Where we find citizens that have been affected, they will come to us, they will take class action because these illegalities must not be allowed to go on. So if we have the evidence, if we have those citizens that are interested in mounting this, we are also having a call out to them to say, can you come? And then we mount litigation on the basis that these movements are illegal. These movements, they have not been sanctioned by those people that have the details that are actually being moved across into other wards, into other constituencies from polling stations that they originally voted from without their consent. In any case, like I indicated, delimitation of boundary is yet to start. It's going to start after the national population census. And in this regard, there's no reason for people to see that their names have been transposed from their original registration centers or polling stations where they are originally registered as voters.
Quite insightful. Thank you so much, Solomon. Bobo C. Bunu, Programs Manager, Election Resource Center. Thank you for shedding more light on that story here on Breakfast Central.